All right, now we're live. Well, we're not live. We're recording. So
Right.
I'm Pat, back from the dead.
I'm Jeffrey.
This
I'm
is
fine.
Jeffrey's fine. This is Coffee Before Bed, the podcast that's been on 2 weeks hiatus due to my ass.
Well, okay. Now, could you explain for the listening audience at home? Tell them why this has turned into a 2-week hiatus.
Well, the first week I was on vacay, so
Do go on.
had a wonderful vacay in the fattest state in the union. So,
What, Texas?
Florida, man.
Oh, well, hold on, man. Because
Man. I was a little bit surprised.
the fattest city in America is Houston.
I don't think I'm gonna argue with you on that one. So
Nothing to argue
I don't
with,
think I
Jack.
can. I've been there. Yeah, I've been there. So I think a lot of Houston goes to Florida during July.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah.
No.
So, we did Universal, which was amazing.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Best roller coasters I've ever been on, man. I mean, as soon as you got in the park, I was like, this isn't fucking Disney World, man. So Disney World, where they try and hide like how things are supposed to be scary and shit and put them in, quote, mountains. This one's like, oh no, you want to ride this motherfucker because it goes straight up. And we want everybody in the park to be able to see this thing.
Nice.
And so as soon as we got in there, I was like, I want to ride that right now. So let's go ride the scariest motherfucker in this thing. So and we did just about every roller coaster in Universal except for one. So we did not do the one in the Jurassic Park thing, and apparently it's supposed to be the most badass one, but we didn't have passes for it. So
Well, couldn't you just pay?
no, you have to commit before you go into the park. Do you want like the express pass? And if you do, there's certain rides that are blocked. All right, and that was one of the rides that was blocked. And so even though we had express passes, all right, you have to make your decision about which coaster you want to go on and wait in line for as soon as you get there, because by the time you hit the afternoon hours, the lines are 2.5 hours long. So
Oh, I see. So you went in the afternoon.
no, we went all day, both days for 2 days,
Oh, okay. Cool.
where we were like literally there at 8 o'clock in the morning, which is unheard of for me. But the first day, so there's 2 parks, and we only had passes for each park, one per day. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So you can't go between the parks. All right.
Gotcha.
So day number 1, we do all the roller coasters. We have passes for all of them. No problem. All right. All the indoor ones. I think there was one that we didn't do. I think there was a Batman ride that we didn't do, but we did the Spider-Man one. We did all the Transformers shit. We did all the Hogwarts shit. So.
Oh, right.
So the second day we go in, and this is the second day we went to the other park, which has 3 big roller coasters in it. It's got the Hulk coaster, which is the best roller coaster I've ever ridden in my entire life.
Really?
Yes, it was fantastic. And then it's got the Velociraptor one, which is the one we did not do. And the reason why we didn't do that one is because we went and we did the Hagrid one for Hogwarts. We made a beeline for it as soon as we got there, and we still actually wound up waiting in the line probably about an hour and a half for
Gotcha.
that one. And so by the time we made our way over to Jurassic Park World Land thing, the line for the other one was 3 hours long. And so we were like, fuck that. Let's go ride everything else we can. And we did.
I was gonna say, was it just certain rides that?
It's just certain rides. Yeah, they get really jammed up. So, and they're all roller coasters. We did just about everything else that was. I mean, we even rode the stupid rides. They got like a Simpsons roller coaster there that's made for kids. We fucking did it.
I would have. Yeah.
Yeah, they had like these teacups with Kodos and Kang. We did that.
I would have done that.
Yeah, we did everything that we possibly could. With the exception of like, there were a couple like live shows that we didn't go to just because we missed the times. So, but yeah, no, did the whole thing, ate ourselves stupid. You know, and
You're supposed to.
You're supposed to, man.
You're
But it was
supposed
the fattest, sweatiest place I've ever been in my entire life until we got on the cruise ship. So,
Now, okay, now hold on one second. How long were you on this cruise ship?
3 nights.
3 nights.
We went down to parts of not America in the Bahamas. So
Did you get off?
we did get off. I'm glad I did get off. I almost did not get off, but I am glad I actually did get off and experience part of not America because I really love America now.
It's awesome, isn't it?
It is pretty awesome, man. So not America is a scary, scary place.
Did you go to the islands where basically the only piece of America they have is like one KFC?
I didn't see a single piece of America. I think I saw Subway. I don't know, man. It was so we didn't do any like the pre-planned tours and shit like that. We were basically immediately accosted by fucking locals who, oh yeah, we'll drive you all around and blah 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 and take you to all these people who are gonna fleece you along the way.
Yeah, with the fucking scooters and stuff.
No, this guy had a 15-passenger van, so there
okay.
were 10 of us on this trip. So, and they approached my brother-in-law, who's basically the money man on this thing. We just gave him money in the beginning.
Oh.
Like, here, we'll follow you, man, kind of thing. And he just like decided, all right, we're gonna go with this, local guy. It turned out to be pretty cool, but you could tell it was just a grift every stop he took us to. And so, he actually took us to Trump's casino down there.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's way more ghetto than you think, man. It's not the big fancy one that they show on all the brochures, man. So it looks like a Motel 6 that's been built on top of itself like 6 times.
Dude, why the fuck?
But the inside of it is immaculate Trump, man.
Right.
I mean, like gaudy statues and everything, man.
Right,
So, yeah,
right.
It's great.
Now, look, I mean, I guess that's the issue is your building it only has to outshine the buildings next to it. It doesn't have to outshine another city.
Yeah. Well, see, it's interesting because they're in where we were, it's Nassau, okay, and so it was the Atlantis, is his casino, hotel there. It's not his anymore, but he built it. It's actually on a completely separate island, all right, where all the rich people live. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
All right, but it's not the one that you're thinking of because there's this one that's like iconic, that's this big, tall thing that's got this huge fucking water slide and all this shit. That's not his. There's a completely different sandals resort that you can see within distance of his place, and his place definitely looks like it was built in 1982 compared to that motherfucker.
Yeah, but you can't gamble over there, can you?
I'm sure you can, but you can't get over there. So you actually have to stay there before they even let you near that motherfucker. So Trump's place is like, oh, you got money? Yeah, you can gamble here. So, don't have money? Oh, go see the cashier right over there. So
Right,
yeah,
yeah.
So, but yeah, the Bahamas. I mean, it was, and I mean, a lot of people were telling me it was like, well, actually, this is one of the nicer places. I'm like, this is one of the nicer places.
That's all, yeah.
It's not as nice as you think, man.
I have a lot of friends that went there, yeah.
Yeah,
They
there's like, the guy was taking us a tour and he's like, oh, well, this is the Capitol. Here is our Supreme Court. And here is our Parliament. And it looks like this 2-story like house that's down on Cascade, kind of thing. Right. So, and it's kind of like, well, yeah, this is pretty old and stuff, but you guys do business here? So,
sort of.
Yeah, no, I mean, everything was completely dwarfed by the cruise ships. So there were 2 cruise ships there, ours and the one full of white people. So that there was the Disney one. It was monstrous.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
a floating fucking palace. So that just disgorged thousands of white people on the island.
Now, hold on. Okay. So you tell me, all right, now, so I guess this all depends on which cruise you go on, but I've been told that going on a cruise, you just end up eating a lot.
You can, but you don't have to. So, like, I was really impressed with the food. Okay, so there are like 3 different ways to eat on a cruise ship. Before I get into cruises too much, I'd never done a cruise before. I am a fan. I'm going on another one.
Oh, okay.
I am a convert now. All right, even though our cruise line probably was the Southwest Airlines of cruises, so it was Carnival. Okay.
I think that's owned by Disney too.
It might be. I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Disney has their own actual cruise line.
They do, but they also. I'm trying to remember what I read. It's like all of the cruise lines are owned by like a total of 3 companies, but there are
Yeah, that
like
wouldn't
20
surprise me.
different names of them.
Yeah, well, so like ours was pretty standard. I've been doing some reading on it through the fog of COVID. That there's like high-end cruise lines, like Celebrity is supposed to be like top notch, like, and you're gonna pay like triple. Disney is pretty high end too, but it's made for middle class, upper middle class white people who want to have Frozen streaming in their room 24/7. Yeah. Where Carnival's a little bit more of like, hey, we've been doing this a long time, and so it's like very what you would expect, like Love Boat kind of shit.
Right.
It's not a it's not a specialty cruise. It's not particularly family friendly or anti-family.
Right.
Kind of thing. But yeah, you could get really fat on a cruise line if you can't or don't watch yourself, because there's basically food available 24/7.
Yeah.
Not quite 24/7. They close at like 3 a.m. and then they open back up at 6. So there's like three hours or so, and that's just like one place. You can get a pizza at 2 a.m., but you can't get anything else, kind of thing. Or you can get a coffee, and you can get booze whenever you want.
Right.
But there's like 3 ways to eat on a cruise ship. So the first one is like hotel stuff. All right, you can get room service whenever you want. Okay, it costs you a little bit extra, but there's a menu. So, it's got pretty good shit on the menu. They just bring it right to you. Okay, whenever you want. The second way, and which is the way that we actually wound up eating the most, is they actually have dining rooms. Okay, and you have a scheduled time. You go down to your dining room and you sit with all the people that you're going with, or they team you up with other people at your table and shit. We had 10 people in our party, so we always were able to get a table just by punching in some shit on the app, say, hey, we're ready to eat, and they ping us back, say, okay, come on down.
Well, that's cool.
As soon as we got, the whole thing is run by an app, so that you download on your phone as soon as you get on a ship. And they serve you like it's like being at a wedding. Okay, so where you have like maybe like 5 choices, and it's a 3-course meal every single time. You get like 5 choices, so you get to choose from this menu of appetizers, this menu of entrees, and this menu of desserts, and it changes every fucking meal. So it's not like, oh, well, I had that for dinner last night. It's like, if you don't get it, fucking now, it's going to be completely different tomorrow. All right? It's not even going to be on there. All right? And that is actually, they're cool because they actually give you fairly small proportions. Okay? They don't, like, fucking load on all the mashed potatoes that you would on a buffet and stuff. And if you want more, like, there was one night they made baked Alaska. It was fantastic. I was like, can I have another? They're like, yeah, sure. Here, we'll bring you another one right away. And just bam, like, okay, sweet. All right, but if I hadn't asked for it, the meal would have been like the perfect size.
Dude, when's the last time your mom made you one of those?
Probably when I was about 12.
Yeah.
And my mom used to make pretty tits baked Alaska. These guys did a pretty good job too. So.
Well, yeah, I hadn't even heard of the dish until you told me that your mom made it. So
yeah,
this would be the second time I've heard it said. So
yeah. So well, they had that, and so like every single night. Every single dinner, you could have basically like, there's like a choice of 2 or 3 different types of meat. All right. It was always like either some kind of beef, some kind of poultry, or some kind of fish. You could have whatever you want. All right. Lunch was usually like, you had like just a couple different choices, but it wasn't like sandwich or stuff. It's like, do you want chicken fried steak? It's like, yeah, sure. That sounds like a decent lunch. All right, and breakfast was just basically a la carte. All right, so they literally had like, what do you want for breakfast? Because just about anything you can think of, if it's breakfast related, we'll just make it for you. It was pretty cool. So if you eat that way, you're probably not going to get fat. Now the buffet.
That's the other part.
The buffet is completely different, man. There's an entire deck of this ship that is nothing but buffet and little restaurants that go around the pool and stuff. And so there was like a Guy Fieri burger joint.
Yep.
There was like a taco joint. There was a sandwich shop.
There's probably a Johnny Rockets. There's probably a...
what is the Johnny Rockets?
It's another like sort of somewhat kind of halfway upscale chain restaurant. Kind of like a Guy Fieri type restaurant.
Well, so each one of the restaurants kind of focused on a different fare.
Yeah.
So there was like a Mongolian wok, which we didn't get a chance to go to. because it was only open certain hours a day. Guy Fieri's was only open certain hours a day. Sandwich shop in the deli was open just about all day. The burrito taco shop was open just about all day. But then, like, further back from that was the actual buffet, all right, where it's 2 giant buffets.
And that shit's free. That's included.
That's all included, man.
Yep.
You just go and you say, like, you go to Guy Fieri's, say, I like a burger with chili and fries, and they're like, bam, 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 here you go. You know, and they serve it to you on a plate and everything, and there's a place where you stack up plates when you're done. They're constantly emptying them out. You can eat like crazy if you do that. Okay, and I'm going to tell you that probably about 60 to 70% of the people on a cruise ship were just constantly hitting that fucking
That's exactly what I heard. Yeah, it's just like you just go out there and eat.
Yeah, they just eat and eat and eat. And then the pool is right there, and so they're all like sunbathing and shit and just sitting there shoveling burgers and fries and pizza and all kinds of shit in their mouth, man, the entire time.
You make them sound so fat.
And oh my God, they were fat. I have not seen so much cellulose in a single place in ages, man. It was like you took like Universal Studios and wrung it out of all the skinny people. I mean, I'm not in the best of shape, man, but I look good compared to like probably 80% of the people. Like,
that's the argument, man. You're only as fat as your competition.
Oh man, no, dude.
Yeah.
And you should have seen it at night, man. So like they would all come out and everybody be all dolled up and stuff because there's a club, there's a casino.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't play in the casino because it was full of fucking Chinese junk machines. Yeah, so. And I was like, yeah, you're going to get ripped off here. One of the guys in our party who had never gambled before, he played a little bit of blackjack, and he just got wiped out in 5 seconds. And I was like, all right, I'm good. So, you know, and it was, but then they would all come out, and it was just like so much cloth that covers so many people. So, I mean, oh, man.
That's disgusting.
It was
Look, I get it.
Yeah,
it's kind of like.
I was a little bit surprised. I didn't realize how healthy of a state Colorado is.
#1.
I know it's #1, and I buy it now, man. So, but like even down in Pueblo, you know, you don't see things like this, man.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, there's some parts of Pueblo that are pretty chunky, you know, because I mean the food's pretty good and it's very cheap, you know, but still at the same point in time, I've never seen anything like this, man. So, you know.
Well, all I can tell you is, you know, especially since you went on a cruise, right? Because you are going to see a lot of people without their shirts on and shit, right?
You do see a lot of that.
So think about, say, when you went to a water park in 1998 versus
Oh, right, yeah.
2022.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing. At Universal, there's actually 3 parks. There's a water park. We did not go to the water park. So maybe next time. Because it was hot as fuck. So
Yeah.
it was not pleasant, man.
Think about where you were.
Oh, I know, man. So, and it was toasty. Like all 3 days that we were actually on the ground were like, yeah, probably at least like 92, 93, which isn't terrible for Florida, but standing in line, just baking in the sun. Yeah. Actually, the second day at Universal, it had intermittent like rain squalls all day.
It sounds great.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
The first day, yeah, I got a little toasty. So, yeah, but and then actually out on the ocean, it's fine. So it's actually fairly cool. So at least compared to land. So, but yeah, no, cruises are fun, man. So I definitely highly recommend. So highly recommend. So I think I'd go somewhere else though next time, man. So I was not terribly impressed with the Bahamas. So
Yeah, I've looked at it a few times. There are a few that I've wanted to go on, and that I just kind of like didn't at the last minute.
yeah,
Especially when I was still working for Baker. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah. If I go on a cruise, they really can't call me on my days off, you know. But
no, they can't. Man.
But yeah, so I thought about that, and one of the ones that was catching my eye was that Pacific Northwest up
I
to
would
Alaska.
totally
one.
do that one. I would do that one tomorrow. So yeah, I would do that. I would do anything down to Mexico now that I think about it. I don't know. Maybe the lower Antilles, like U.S. Virgin Islands or something like that, are a little bit nicer. But man, I gotta tell you, like the Bahamas, like I'm sure there's parts of it that are nice, man. But Nassau is one of those places where you like, where's my wallet? It's in my front hand.
Well,
You know?
I mean, so as somebody that's been to Tijuana, right?
Right, yeah.
I know what it
It's
is.
got to be very similar, man.
Well, yeah, but I mean, uh, so I'm not gonna, knock on it. You know what it is, and it's not. There's parts of it that are like a hive.
Yeah,
I
sure.
get it.
Yeah,
But there's also a lot of parts of it where it's like, okay, well, this is just south of San Diego.
yeah,
So La Policia actually controls and keeps a lot of that,
yeah,
bullshit out. Kind of like, it's the same thing when they talk about Mexico. It's like, can you go there? It's like, yeah, go here, here, and here.
yeah, yeah.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I don't think that would be much of a problem. Yeah, but the Pacific Northwest one would be really good. So, I guarantee that one's gonna be more expensive because honestly, cruise wasn't that expensive.
It wasn't that bad.
Mm.
It actually wasn't as bad as I thought. Like, I remember this whole like adventure came from something I joked about. I was like, I kind of want to go on a single Jewish cruise, and I was like, because I was like, what are you gonna do to stop me? Right? I didn't know if they would actually sell to Goyim or not. Like,
Oh,
if they check. But I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go see. Let me go spend a week with Jewish single ladies and see what happens. Right?
I wonder how fast it'd take you to get you found out, man.
It's not even that. It's like, let me flip it on you the other way.
Mhm.
Okay? You know who's really going to be on that cruise?
Who?
Fucking Lloyd's like me. Fucking, like,
Yeah.
a ratio of like 4-1. Fucking dorks like me. And I was like, all right, no, I'm not going to do this. But I was like, this could be, like, some of the most fun that I have in my life.
Oh, it could
Just
be, yeah.
on a solo adventure. Just go screw around and see what happens.
Dude, there is tons of stuff on. Even on the short 3-night trip that we had, there were like dances and singles mixers every single night. Okay, there was all kinds of comedy. There was like a comedy show every half an hour at night.
You were surprised to see that, weren't you? You didn't think that's the kind of thing they'd have on there, yeah.
No,
Yeah, for sure.
no, they got like, and so they have like the kids comedy hour, the comedy that's safe for kids until 9 o'clock. And then after that, they kick the brakes off. You can bring
Yeah.
your kid anyway. They don't give a shit.
Yeah.
They're just like, hey, this is what this guy's going to be talking
Yeah.
about. They have movie night every night. And then, like, during the day, there's all kinds of sports shit. There's, like, group workouts. I mean, there's, like, literally shit going on every 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And so, like, me, all right, just, like, being at sea, I sat out on my balcony and read my book for like a day and a half, and it was glorious. It was glorious. I was like, what kind of ship? Next time I go, I'm definitely bringing binoculars, man. Because that's kind of nerd that I am. But it was cool because we had a party at 10. All right, everybody want to do different shit? Go do it.
That's
whatever.
that's the rule. Yeah, that's where vacationing for me ended up being either you go with a big group or you go by yourself. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Or of course, there's also the you go with one other person and you've already agreed, like, yeah, we're gonna do this, this, and this, but the rest of it is kind of as it comes.
Yeah.
And so nobody's upset.
Yeah.
Right? But when you get into like 3 and 4 territory where it's 2 people want to do this, but one person doesn't,
that.
then it's, oh, so you're gonna leave this person out? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Unless it's like explicitly agreed upon up front that we can all go do our own thing. So.
Well, yeah, but a lot of times that's where you run into the like passive aggressiveness. It's like, oh, well, you guys went off and did this without me. It's like, you said you didn't want to go.
Yeah,
So
I wouldn't.
you
even
didn't
do
ask.
that. Yeah.
And that's the kind of bullshit that you don't want hanging over your vacation. But yeah, that's the thing is what you're describing right there. Okay, that's why I've been to Vegas so many times.
Yeah, sure.
Is because Vegas is a McDonald's burger to a real burger. Right. And I don't mean that in a negative way. It's that it's a caricature of entertainment where they take everything, turn it up to 10, and then squish it into a small area.
Yeah.
Right? And that's kind of
That's
what
what a
cruises
cruise
are
is.
too. Yeah.
That's exactly what a cruise is.
Yeah. You can find any amount of trouble within a small area. The only difference is you are on one that floats. And I plan to do that too.
It's fun. Highly recommend.
Again, with a place of the world that I haven't seen.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'd never seen that part of the world, so I think I'm good though now.
For a while,
Yeah.
I would think. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as far as going to Bahamas, yeah, I don't think I'd go back.
My only question is, has that a long time ago you had an itch to go out there and be on the ocean?
Oh yeah.
Has this sort of reignited
Oh
your...
fuck yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I handled it way better than I thought I would. So, I mean, I've been on the ocean a few times when I was younger, so especially with my dad and stuff. But like, I remember once getting like super duper seasick, fishing. I can't remember where that was. Might have been in Michigan. That's not even the ocean, but it was the lake.
What, just like a 20-footer or something like that?
Something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, we just went out in something. I can't remember what it was. I was pretty young too. Maybe like 10 or so. Because I don't even think my brother went on that one. Yeah, I think it was just my dad and I. And then, a couple of the ships when I was a little bit older and stuff. And then out to Hawaii, we did stuff out there.
Oh, yeah.
And things like that. But like never like out, like, oh, can't see land no more, out kind of thing. And so like after the first 5 minutes, I was used to it. And I was like, this is great. The first night, I slept like the dead. The second night, I couldn't stay awake, man. I was sitting there watching TV in our cabin, and I'm just like, oh, this feels so good.
Well, it sounds like that's exactly what you wanted to do.
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
And then, like, the third night, the night where Catherine was a little bit sick, I stayed with her in a cabin. Everybody else is going to watch comedy shows and shit. So, because she wasn't feeling too good. And we actually went through a bona fide storm. So it was great. I was out there on the balcony just watching the boat pitch and stuff, getting soaked to the bone. Loved it, man. So I go to find my wife after Catherine had fallen asleep, and there's people in the hallways that are like getting ready to hork, trying to make it back to their room. I'm like, I love this. So, I mean, it was a big ship. It wasn't as big as the Disney one that pulled up next to us in NASA. The thing was fucking monstrous. But I mean, it was still like probably a 900-foot ship. I mean, it's as big as most aircraft carriers. Well, no, not close. It's big.
It's in the ballpark, but
it's in the ballpark. It's not going to pitch around too much and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you can still definitely feel it. And I loved it. I love every minute of it. So, in fact, when we got off it took me a little bit longer to get used to like, oh, this is airport land. Boo.
Fair enough.
Yeah. This is way too solid, man. But yeah, I had a hell of a time. So it was great fun. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like, you pay for the entire thing. You get basically a free meal ticket. So your tip, they don't expect you to tip. So on your dinner or anything like that. In fact, like when you go and get a burger or something, there's no receipt or there's no change cup or anything like that. The only time you're expected to tip is if you drink. So, and like we got on the ship the first day and we're like, well, for $300 you can drink whatever the fuck you want for the next 3 days. I sat down quickly and did the math on it. I was like, yeah, that's a good deal. And that included all of my tips. Okay. That included an 18% gratuity on every single thing. And so the rest, all I had to do for the entire rest of the trip was just show them my card that had a little drink ticket on it.
Yeah.
And they're like, what do you want? I was like, I like that. And bam, here you go. Thank you. So
yeah, when you hear a deal like that, I think that radically changes what you're going to drink too.
It kind of did it. So, but I mean, like the first time before I did the math, I was like, got on the ship. We had been driving around all day and going through the cruise terminal, which was kind of a pain in the ass, and stuff. Well, it wasn't that much of a pain in the ass for us, but some of the folks in our party didn't have, we had like I don't know what you call it, but like we weren't in steerage. So we had a cabin with an actual balcony. Okay.
Yeah.
And so we got to sit in a nice club. But some of the people in our party did not have that. They had a little like closet down, in the bilges kind of thing. And so, but we had to wait for them because we all wanted to board on a ship together. We didn't want to get split up because nobody knew what the fuck they were doing. All right. Now I realize, just get on the fucking ship. Okay, you're all going to the same place. Don't worry about it.
you will be in the same place, man. I mean,
Yeah. So that's just the way that it worked. And so the terminal itself was kind of messed up, so it took us a little bit of time to get on ship. We were on the ship probably like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It left at like 2. All right, as soon as you get on the ship, I mean, you check your bags, and so you don't even have your shit yet. All right, because they bring it up to your room. And it's like, all right, well, I'm gonna go get a beer. And so the first beer that I got was like $7. And I'm like, damn, this is gonna be an expensive trip.
You notice that your $300 drink pass
Right.
is made up by people buying 1 beer apiece.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so after that, as soon as I downloaded the app, it was like, would you like the drink pass? And I'm like, how much is it? It's like $300. Just a little bit of math right there. I'm like, it's not even 2:30 yet, and I already want another beer. Yeah, this is going to be a good deal. And so for the rest of the trip, it was just like, yeah, beer. I think it's time for gym.
Well, it's like, well, it's 6:30. Yeah,
Yeah, 6:30.
yeah.
I suppose it's gym and coke time. So, and Ben was just like, I love daiquiris all of a sudden. It's just like, when I don't have to make them, they're delicious.
Well, and especially for them, you're sitting there thinking like, what a pain in the ass. But no, it's like when you're making this at an industrial site.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, they make everything with slushing machines
Yeah.
and shit. It's crazy. So, I mean, like, just the food production for the buffet is amazing. So,
Well, that's sort of the thing is, so when I was researching this, and evidently the margins on these things is so small, okay?
yeah.
Whether or not the cruise makes money all depends on essentially what is a 24-hour turnover.
Yeah. Oh, no, they turn over the ship the day it docks.
Exactly. Yes. And so if they're not turning it over within that day,
Yeah.
that's when they lose money.
Oh, no. So we docked Monday morning at 7 a.m. They kicked everybody off by 8:30.
Yep.
So they were like, if you want breakfast, you need to go get it now. So,
Yeah.
And I mean, they were still polite and everything, but, you got like at 8 o'clock, they were like, all right, half an hour call. Everybody's got to be off. So, and so they closed down the restaurants, kick everybody out. So close the buffet. So, and then, your bags all you do is put tags on them and then they take them. So, that's one thing that I would tell you to do is actually carry your own shit though. So, because you do get separated from your shit. So, and for us, that was kind of one of those things where it was like, when we got off the ship, we decided to carry our shit. We were out of there within 10 minutes, where there are other people there. They would have been there for hours after that.
Oh,
So, I was like, fuck that. Let's just let's just hump all our shit off the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really good to call. So, and you don't really need that much stuff, man. So, like, I mean, there's a laundry bag, you stick your shit in it, and you hang it up, and they go wash your shit for you.
Well, I mean, that's also the thing is I've done okay, Patrick. To be fair, I've done more traveling in the past 5 years than really anybody else would be expected to. Where it's like, you're going to be on site for 1 week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, and then all the the trips and the vacations and all that other stuff. So it's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I know exactly what are necessities. I can do this with this backpack and this little bag, and that's it, right?
I would tell you though, bring one pair of nice pants. So, because so there were 2 nights. We were on the ship 3 nights. The first night was basically like, okay, we're cool with flip-flops and all this shit. Yeah, that's totally fine. The second night, they were like, tonight is dress dinner. Okay, and we did not actually get to go to dinner that night. So because all I had a pair of jeans, which was all that I brought on, because that's what I do on a plane. I wear jeans on the plane. Because if I'm going to bring heavy clothes, I wear them on the plane. All right, because that's where it's going to be coldest. Usually. All right.
I've never been cold on an airplane.
I've gotten cold on planes, so particularly on longer that night we just said, oh, okay, well, fuck it, let's go hit some of the other little restaurants upstairs. Okay. For this one. And so next time I'll forego the jeans and I'll actually bring a pair of khakis. So, and I'll wear those on the plane. And I'll just have them with me just in case. They're fine with polo shirts and stuff like that. But they will turn you away, man. If you show up with flip-flops and a fucking tank top, they're like, nah, you can't have dinner down here tonight. So go hit the buffet. So, you know, which was kind of nice. So, the wait staff was fantastic. So, you know, white towels and everything. Man. Yeah, serious stuff. Every last one of them was fucking from India, though. They're all from India or the Philippines or something. So, like, yeah, our guy, and they all have, like, where they come from. And so that's another cool thing they get. If you get a cabin, you actually get a cabin attendant. And so this is a guy who actually, like, I think our guy had maybe, like, 10 or 12 cabins that he was responsible for. And so if you needed anything, so you just... You know, there's a couple different ways you can call him. You can call him on the app. You can stick your head out, and he's down at the end of the hall. Usually you can find him, you know, kind of thing. And, I mean, he'll take care of it. You need ice. Okay, ice. So it's like, yeah, we're out of toilet. Okay, yeah, here you go. So it's like, yeah, you got laundry around? He's like, give it to me. No problem. So, really cool. And it's not like a hotel where you have people knocking on your door at 11 o'clock. How do you mean? So the guy just watches. And if you leave, he'll go into your room and fucking clean it real quick. So, and you won't even notice, even if you're like, nah, don't worry about it and stuff, you know. There was one day where we were kind of like just lounging, and, you know, finally, I think I went out to get a beer, and he saw me come out, he's like, hey, you know, do you want me to clean your room? I was like, don't worry about it and shit and stuff like that. And sure as shit, man, like an hour later, all three of us left to go to dinner, come back, it's clean. So, it's pretty impressive, man, the level of service that you get. So, then we tipped that guy, because he was really cool. So... But, you know, other than that, the cash outlay on the cruise was like nothing. So, you know, you pay up front and you just go have a good time. So, the island was expensive.
Yeah, that's a shit show. That
got expensive quick.
I've heard terrible stories about like the fucking, like if you actually go on the events and they're like, oh, well, let's go on this little nature hike, and they fucking lie to you. They're like,
oh no, let's stop at the souvenir shack first.
Oh, it's not even that. Yeah. It's also the things where they'll look at one of you guys and say like, oh, you're gonna get eaten by mosquitoes, and yeah, and then you're like, well, I can sell you this little bottle of stuff for $15.
Yeah, exactly. No, they totally do that.
They fucking nickel and dime you. That's yeah.
Oh man, they send on you like Arabic traders as soon as you get off the ship. So, yeah, I know. So there was a whole line of like 10, 15 passenger vans, and these guys trying to flag down. Like, I mean, it was like unleashing a shitload, like a Broadmoor bus at the airport. Yeah. You know, so you look for the guy with the biggest golf clubs. So, you know,
I mean, at least it's not, you know, some of that's changed. You know, from the old days where it's like people fucking would like snap photos of you and then try to sell it to you.
Right. Oh no, they do that.
They still do that.
They do that. Yeah, they do that. The guy that we got hooked up with, his very first stop was to take us. He's like, no, you don't want to be downtown. All these people down here are shysters, you know, or whatever. So I can't remember what he called them. It was something like that, though. Jackals. He said they were jackals.
Okay. Yeah.
And so we're like, okay. So, and then immediately he drives us up on top of this hill next to this old fort. And what's there? Fucking his jackals. Everybody knows this guy.
It's all fucking graft.
It's all fucking graft.
Yep.
He's sitting there. He's got like 8 stalls of like little knick-knacky souvenirs. All right. And I stop at, well, am I sure? When fucking am I gonna? I'll pay like $10 for this little hand-carved wooden shark, you know, kind of thing. And I'm like, sweet, I'll give it to my daughter. I go to the next booth. There's this exact same goddamn truck.
Yeah. That's Tijuana in a nutshell, buddy.
I know, man. And it was like, oh, it was your turn to drop us off in front of this guy's booth. Yeah, no, it was kind of funny.
He gets his 10%. Yeah, that's it is what it is.
Oh
man.
no, it totally is what it is. And then, like, because all we really want to do is just go to the beach. All right, so we're like, well, how much takes us to the beach? And he's like, I'll take you to the beach. He took us like 3 places before he actually dropped us off at the beach. So, And thankfully, my brother-in-law is a pretty smart guy, and so he's like, "All right." So negotiating with them about this, and he gives them about half the money up front, and he says, "I don't want you leaving us on that beach, so I'll pay you when we're done at the end of the day." And the guy's like, "Okay." So, and sure enough, we go to the beach, and it's everything at the beach. It's like you want an umbrella, that's $10. So you want a lawn chair, that's another $10. You want 2 lawn chairs, that's $20. I'll give you 3 for 25. You know, kind of thing.
Oh my god. Okay, so one of the horror stories I heard about chairs was the battle for deck chairs.
That's a real thing. So now I don't sunbathe, man. Obviously, I every time I was out, I put my spritz on and shit.
Yeah.
So, but I would go out to the top deck. There's actually like the top deck. There's something called a Lido deck, and that's where all the buffets are. All right, and that's basically the top deck. But then there's a couple that stack on top of it that are built like amphitheaters that are full of deck chairs. We weren't out of sight of the fucking port, and those were all full.
Yeah.
So yeah. They were all full, and the pools are tiny, so they are not big at all.
But you'll be fighting for those fucking deck chairs first thing in the
And
morning.
hot tub space.
Yeah.
The hot tub space is not to be found, man. So unless you got a family of like water buffalo that can fucking sit on them for you, you're not gonna get in there.
Look, you could. I mean, again, you'd have to be rolling deep. You would have to be basically
Right.
like you could do that with a 10-person party, where if you have somebody that is
could.
actually like getting up and reserving shit.
Yeah.
And you can't, but you have to go out there and send people out to fist fight for them in the morning.
Mhm.
But if you're also like, look, I know you,
Yeah.
and I know when it comes to vacation, it is sort of the desire will come to you, but you cannot force it.
No.
It will just happen, right?
No, if it happens, it happens.
So there's plenty of things where I know with you, it's like, I'm not gonna get up now.
No.
I don't have to.
No. Oh no. Like the first day I slept till like 1.
Yeah.
So I woke up, my family's fucking gone. I was like, cool.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was like, oh darn, I missed the breakfast buffet. That's okay.
so I'll catch you another
Yeah,
time.
I'll catch it another time.
Or I won't.
I only caught it once.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You will or you won't.
No, they're pretty strict on their times, and so yeah, if you don't get up before 10, no breakfast for you. It's like that's fine. So
Okay. Are you making lunch?
yeah,
I'll have
I'll
lunch.
have lunch.
Yeah. Or if you slept in really late, what's for dinner?
What's for dinner?
Which is breakfast. That's
Yeah.
you and I came to that conclusion a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
Breakfast is a state of mind. It is just
Right.
It is the order. It is whether it is the first.
It's an
meal
order
that
of
you eat today.
operation. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you're eating your first meal at 7, that's not
breakfast.
dinner. That is
Yeah.
still breakfast.
That's breakfast.
Even if it's Arby's, right?
Even if it's Arby's,
It's
Yeah.
still breakfast.
Yeah. No, it was really good. So Kat even liked it. So I was kind of
I
impressed.
bet she did.
She did.
Especially if she had her little. She had little minions to hang out with, right?
Yeah, her cousins.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah, like I said, just that last night where she got sick. So obviously, so she got
What
the
are you gonna
coup
do?
somewhere on the ship. But we all got tested before we got on. But I'm going to tell you, that was definitely the place where if you're going to get it, you're going to get it on that. So
Yeah, because I don't think you were rolling deep with the Nassau folks.
that place is pretty crowded too, man. So
Yeah, but you weren't
Oh.
mingling with them, were you?
on the beach, yeah.
The locals?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Oh well, no, we went to a public beach. So yeah. And so there were all kinds of people there. Thanks, brother.
Huh.
Yeah, so we go to the public beach because the cruise line's got a private beach that you can go to. And they're like, you're not going to get shystered for anything. You're not going to get bothered by locals or anything like that. So if I were to do it again, I'd probably go actually, no, I'm glad I did go on the island and actually intermingle with some of the locals. And like I said, our tour guide was pretty cool. I met two pretty cool guys on the beach as well. They were both stoned as fuck. So,
Okay.
so they kept offering me the marijuana. And they made me this drink in a pineapple that was like fucking rocket fuel, man. So, they made it with actual behind. They said, "Oh, this is the stuff what the locals drink." I was like, "Is it gonna kill me?" They said, "Maybe." And I was like, "I'll try it." So it was pretty bad. So
Pretty bad, but you know what? When push comes to shove, you still train at altitude.
oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
oh yeah, no, I didn't get drunk the entire trip, and that's not for a lack of trying, man. So there was one night we went down to the comedy club, sitting there pounding beers, and then pounded Jim Beam, and then I was like, all right, this guy wants to go play some blackjack. Let's go to the casino. So I just sat at the bar, and this one guy is just like, would you like another? I was like, yeah, can you make this one double, kind of thing. And I was fine the entire trip. It's just one of those things. When you train at altitude, man, it's just, you better have that $300 drink coupon if you're going to try and get a buzz on. So,
Well, I mean, what I found is, now keep in mind I haven't drank in a while, but so I'd be vulnerable now, but again, this is like every time that I've been to ground level, right?
yeah.
The only way to get a buzz going is like, all right, well, no beer, because that's just
You're wasting your time.
wasting your time unless you like the taste of it, which
I
is
love the taste of
which
beer,
is all that's there. So enjoy that.
I
But
liked it because it stayed cold. So,
but yeah, when you go to places and you're like, okay, well, what do you have here? It's like, scotch or scotch. So like,
Oh, yeah.
oh, buddy, are you gonna? It's like, no, this is fine. This is fine.
yeah. Now they do limit you on. You can drink whatever you want, but there's like top shelf shit that you still have to pay for. So,
Oh yeah. But they'll also have a version of.
Oh
that.
yeah. Oh, you can get Johnny Walker. So
Yeah.
no problem.
Yeah.
Or yeah.
You could get JMO, couldn't you?
I could get JMO. So they had Jack, Jim, JMO. Like even the vodka wasn't bad. It wasn't like Smirnoff. So you could get like, yeah, absolute.
Dude, not that I'm not enough of a connoisseur to really tell you that much of a difference
No, me
between
neither.
vodkas. I mean, I can tell you if. Okay, so this one is Smirnoff bubblegum.
Right.
So okay, I'm not enjoying this, but
Yeah.
for the rest of it, like if you don't get to Skull territory, I can't tell you like
Right.
this-
Yeah. Oh, I can tell you like some good vodkas. So
Stolies and stuff like
Stoli.
that.
Yeah. So
Grey Goose.
Viking Fjord. So yeah, I don't know, man. There's like it was a lot of fun. Next time I want to go a little bit longer because it was kind of short. But we had a fit Universal in there. And I like that a lot, man. So I'm very glad that my daughter picked that one over Disney World. So
That's what I hear. I hear Disney World is kind of for. You have to like Disney. That's
Yeah,
you have to
yeah.
have that love for Disney.
yeah. No, although we couldn't get her to go on very many of the rides. Not until the second day. She'd chicken out the last minute. So we'd wait in line this entire time. And then she, and unfortunately on all the rides there, you can pass off your kid.
Smart.
Yeah. So you don't have to wait in line. This kid just stays there with one adult, and the other adult comes back, and then the one that stayed hops on next in line.
Yeah.
It's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
But it was like the last day, and in the afternoon, it was kind of like, fucking, you're going on a ride. And so, and she's like, no, I'm not going to do it. I was like, the only way off this ride is through it. So, and literally, you get to the thing where it's got the moving carpet, So you hop on, and then
Yeah.
you got to sit down and stuff. She's like, I just pick her up, and I just put her right on the carpet. I'm like, see, it's not that bad. She's like, oh, it's not that bad. And so we sit down, and then we did a great ride. And then she did all the rest of them for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
But she chickened out on my favorite kind of ride, which pissed me off, which was the one that we did right before we did that ride. They have a bona fide log ride there. So,
okay.
I fucking love those, man. They're
All
my
right.
favorites. I'm like, you're going to love this cat. So, drop's not too bad. So we tricked her to going on the Jurassic Park boat ride. So,
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So it's like this big fucking boat that fits like 16 people in it, kind of, really lazy river kind of shit. But, I mean, dinosaurs and stuff, And so, Kat's like, well, is there anything scary on this ride? I'm like, nah. Don't worry about it. So she's like, oh, it's just a boat. I was like, it's just a boat. She's like, there's no moving carpet. I was like, there's no moving carpet. All you have to do is get on the boat. So I didn't tell her about the, like, fucking 6-story drop at the end of it. But after she did it, she was like, that was fun. I was like, see? So...
Well, I had a hard time with that too because when I was around her age,
Mhm.
right, I did go on a ride, and that was like the first and only time I ever barfed on a ride.
Yeah.
And so for years I wouldn't do it because I had this like, I don't know if I was scared, but it's like it makes me throw up. And then just years later in high school, I got roped into going and actually like going on rides.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this isn't a big deal. It was like I'm having fun, and there just became, I don't know what it was. Just the realization where I was like, because I'm not going to the dirt carnival back behind Kmart.
Well, that's run by carnies.
Yeah. So because I'm not going to one of those, the realization kicked in that I was like, well, I'm average height, I'm average weight, I'm average everything.
Yeah.
Some dude that is making $1.2 million a year as an engineer.
Oh yeah.
Built this, and it's not being put on trucks and moved to another city. So I'm like,
it's safe.
And it was just when I'm like, well, I have nothing to worry about.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I was about, I want to say I was about 12 when, I think Dad took us to Busch Gardens in St. Louis, which is now Six Flags.
Yeah.
And there used to be this humongous old school wooden roller coaster there. I don't even know if the Six Flags is still there, but anyway. And Dad's like, we're going to go ride this thing. I was like, what is it? He's like, it's called a roller coaster. And I was like, oh, no, Dad, I'm afraid. He's like, you'll be fine. Oh, that's fine. I'll come with you. We get all the way through the line. The line's only like 10 minutes long or something like that. Yeah. My mom and my brother don't want to do it. My dad loved roller coasters.
Of course.
So, of course he did. It's Coney Island.
I know exactly
kind of
where
thing.
it's from.
Yeah. So, and we get up there, and he said the exact same thing that I told my daughter. I'm like, Dad, I don't want to go. He's like, boy, the only way off this ride is through it. And ever since then, I've loved every roller coaster, man. So, yeah.
Your dad knows what a Coney Island whitefish is.
Yeah. And so, like, even getting to the first day in the Universal, I had been to an amusement park probably in about 15 years. And that was definitely Elitch's the last time I went.
Yeah, but it's moved now, if I recall.
Not yet. It's still where you remember it, but it's going to move.
now, but yeah,
It's going to move out by DIA. Yeah.
Which is great, to be honest with you.
We'll have so much more room out there. So, yeah.
And anything that actually takes some congestion off that particular part of South Denver is fantastic.
Yeah, it's a pretty fucked up part.
Although, given that what they're going to put in is
condos.
Well, I was going to say, per city skylines, high density residential.
Yeah. And no additional freight stuff. Yeah.
I may be dead fucking wrong about what that does to traffic.
Yeah. But yeah, as soon as I walked into Universal, I saw this. They do have a roller coaster where the incline on it is 90 degrees straight up. So it's, as soon as I saw the thing going out, I was like, we need to go on that right now. So everybody's like, well, we want to go to Harry Potter Land first. I was like, okay. All right, but we're going on that before the day is up. So, and only about half the party took me up on it, but it was like, no, we got to do it. So who's with me? And the same thing the next day, I saw the Hulk coaster. I was like, that goes over the water. We need to do that. So right now. And they're like, well, we're going to go do the Harry Potter one first. I'm like, okay, all right.
You guys in your Harry Potter shit.
Well, there's 2 Harry Potter parks. So there's an exhibit in both parks. And so everybody was all big into Harry Potter. I'm not that big on Harry Potter. I mean, as far as they go, they all bought wands and all kinds of stuff and, did all the things. And then they're like, well, don't you want a wand? I was like, no, I'm strictly a muggle and proud of it. Damn it. So it's like, I can't do magic. All I can do is complain about magic. So, but anyway.
Muggles, aren't those the ones that...
Those are people. Those are normal people.
Those are normal people? What do they call those things that... what were those things... Were the elves the ones that are clearly analogs for Jews?
Oh, those are goblins.
Right,
they're definitely Jews.
Yeah, the ones that definitely...
They got a whole ride dedicated to Harry Potter Jews.
Right.
We went on that one.
Because the goblins definitely killed Jesus.
Apparently.
Right.
Yeah. So that's why we call it Yule, you know, in Harry Potter land. So, but anyway. I mean, to be fair, like, the actual presentation of what they did was really impressive. So,
Well, sure.
dude, I mean, like, I remember Disneyland, Disney World, you know, being, like, you know, pretty cool in terms of presentation and stuff, but I hadn't been to, like, a fully themed, like, theme park like this in a long time. And, because, I mean, Elish is it's just amusement park. You know, there's not really a theme behind it. This one, like, you could tell, like they were piping in music from all the major movie franchises all over the park, you know. And I mean, like the Transformers ride was phenomenal. So they had this dude dressed up as Bumblebee out front of it in this like costume that probably cost $1 million to make. It was amazing. So you know, just like yeah, there were all kinds of really cool shit just going on everywhere you turn. And I mean, like there was all kinds of like stuff that was just like over the top Hollywood. We didn't go on the Mummy roller coaster because it was busted, but they still had all the street, like the outdoors was still all set up like it normally would be and things like that. They had these guys, you know, these muscle men walking around on fucking stilts and shit, you know, fucking with people and stuff. It was funny, man. So, you know, and every little piece of the park, they did tear down the whole Jaws thing, so I didn't get to see that. Because it's no longer there, but they hang in the shark up, and so you can go stick your head in the mouth of the shark.
Is that the actual Bruce?
I understand it might be one of them, or
okay.
I don't know. So, but it's there. So yeah.
Okay.
You know.
Well, all right. You see, this is one of the things that I guess they're so professional not to let you see, because there's always a part of me that's always wanted to see that second side of it. The thing where you see the guy with. He's got the costume on, but the Mickey Mouse hat is off, or the head is off.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like you catch him back there. He's having a cigarette, and you're seeing that there's a human being behind it.
Yeah.
But evidently, they are so
very strict,
meticulous at those parks now that they never break character.
No. Well, I don't know. Like at Universal, you don't interact with that many characters.
Right.
You know, but the ones that you do, like in the Jurassic Park land, there's like this dude in a blue costume who runs around scaring people. So, yeah, it's pretty fucking cool. It's kind of like Disney, but not for kids, you know?
Right.
So, it's pretty impressive. Yeah. No, it was interesting. So, but I think, I don't know, man. I think we're parked out on that one because we literally did just about everything that wasn't busted. So, except for that one roller coaster on the Jurassic Park thing. But we did everything. We even did a lot of the goofy rides. We were like, oh, that's got a 5-minute wait.
Right.
Let's go do it.
That's the kind of stuff I always did. It was like, well, nobody's on this, so I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I bet you it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that's kind of where it gets weird, where you see, you know, the people where it's like, well, you've been to Disney World how many times? They're like, 11.
Yeah.
It's like we can right?
Yeah.
And, you know, it's the same thing. Look, I get it. I understand that there are people who that is their source of, I want to have 24 units of fun, right? This session. And I had 23 to 29 last time around. That's a good average. So let's go back to where we were before. Right. And there's this part of me where, again, I've been to Vegas tons of times, but a lot of that is like, well, I didn't get to explore this. I didn't get to do this, right? Whereas it's the same park, right? And I understand that things change, and I also understand that it could be different. I don't have kids, so for the people who are like, my kid loves Disneyland, they want to go every year.
I can see
it's
that.
Like, okay, got it. It's like, what about you? It's like, I've eaten in the same restaurant 4 times this week.
Right. Yeah.
I don't understand you.
Yeah. No. That was one thing that actually was pretty impressive with the park. The food was really good. So it was not cheap. It was not cheap. But we actually did so I had never done this. Like when I was a kid, we went to a couple places. Dad was always like, "Oh, I got a hot dog," kind of thing. If you're hungry, or go get one of them big pretzels, kind of thing. Brother-in-law's not like that. He's like, let's go check out this sit-down place in the middle of the park.
Right.
And it fucking dynamite, man. So some really good food. So there were a couple locals who like, were there, and we were just asking them. They're like, "Oh, we come here to eat all the time." So it was like, you come to a theme park to eat, and they're like, "Yeah, you cannot find better X than this."
Well, look, I'm going to tell you the
They
best.
got passes, so yeah.
I get it. I'll say this, at Elitch Gardens, the best. They had a place there called Foghorn Leghorn's Fries.
I remember.
And
Yeah,
there's as far as I'm concerned, there's no better place in the state to get fries. They just
yeah.
there's this like old school thing. Maybe it was like when the rest of the world was like down on saturated fats. They're like, fuck that. And
Yeah.
so they like purchased the remaining Crisco.
Right. Yeah.
Like that.
Actually boil it in Crisco. Yeah.
Well, and it's funny because it turns out it was all bullshit anyway. So that was funny, but there was just something who's like, these fries are fucking fantastic. So there's that, but yeah, there are dudes that we take this trip here every time,
Yeah.
right? And I can't identify with that. There's
Oh, we did that when we were kids, but so my dad was much more. Both of my parents, especially when we went down to Pagosa, we went down there a lot. So we went down there probably 7-8 times because they had
But what were you
timeshare.
doing? But there was something that you were doing there.
But see, that's the thing is, Dad, Mom would just turn my brother and I loose,
Right.
and so we'd be like, "Oh, let's go rent a paddle boat." Dad would be like, "Here's $5."
Right. Right.
It was like, "Do we need to wear life jackets?" It's like, "I don't care."
Up to you.
It's like it's up to you.
Do you need a life
Do you need
jacket?
a life jacket? Yeah, so the same thing. We're like, oh, and then after, like, I think the first or second year that we went there, we actually convinced my dad to strap our bikes onto his Blazer, and then we were just gone.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So we'd always find bullshit to get in. We'd always make brand new friends and keep them for a week, kind of thing. And so it's totally different. But, like, I can't imagine going to Disneyland every single year, man.
Again, yeah, without the influence of like a kid or something like that, or if you're married to one of those girls, it's like, do they collect the pins?
Oh, yeah.
The people who are indoctrinated in the brand. And
Right.
I get it. There are people who are collectors of certain things or whatever. They like that. I'm like, all right, I get it. I would never do it.
No.
Because, number one, it's a question of, that's stuff. And if it's stuff, then it's going to end up in my house.
Yeah.
And eventually I'm going to have to look it in the eye and say, how often do you play with these fucking pins?
Right.
Right?
Am I going to keep these?
But that's me. Okay, I've been living a Spartan lifestyle for a long time, whereas I do know collectors of junk.
Hmm.
Right? So anyway, before I monopolize all this time, what was the second reason that you were a week late?
Oh, COVID. Yeah, we got the WuFlu on the way back. So, well, actually, like I said, I was telling you before the podcast, my daughter probably had it the last night on the cruise ship. Now, what's interesting is, so we left on the cruise on Friday morning. We had to get, or no, I'm sorry, Saturday morning. No, it was Friday. It was Friday morning. Because we went to Universal on Wednesday, Thursday. Thursday night, we actually had to get COVID tests done officially once.
Right.
In order to get on the cruise ship. Yeah. Everybody's clean. So, which I was surprised after 2 days of stomping around fucking Universal. Mm-hmm. So, just being like in the midst of the sweatiest, parts of America.
Yeah.
Crammed into small, like zigzaggy lines, and touching surfaces that are obviously not cleaned between uses. So, and screaming on roller coasters so loud that I lost my voice for a day. So, because that's what I do. But anyway. So I thought Thursday night, I was like, we're fucked, man. There's no way. It's statistically impossible that all 10 of us are fucking clean after 2 days of stomping around this place.
Right.
And living in this fucking dormitory of a hotel that's
Yeah.
right next to the park. All right. But sure as shit, we were all clean. And I was like, sweet. All right. Off we go on a cruise.
And tell the audience at home, what has been your experience with COVID so far?
COVID sucks. I fucking hate it. So yeah, like we got back, Monday, Kat was a little bit sick. Pam started feeling really sick Monday night. Tuesday, she stays home because she feels shitty. I feel fine. She takes a test that night. She's got the fucking WuFlu.
Yeah.
All right. I take a test. I'm clean. All right. I'm like, cool. Maybe I dodged this bullet. All right.
Yeah.
Wednesday night, a week ago today, all right, I was sitting there all of a sudden about 7 p.m. and my brain starts to boil. Not as bad as your brother, so I didn't like lose time or anything like that. But I started feeling so like almost like seasick, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the whole
That I
world,
had.
the whole world is kind of going sideways. I don't feel nauseous. All right, I just can't like really stand with much confidence. And so I go to bed. I wake up 2 hours later with like shivers. And so I'm kind of convinced I actually did have it in the spring of 2020 because I did have like 2-3 days back then where I had pretty bad fever. Just felt really feverish, but didn't actually register a temperature. All right.
Yeah, fever is 100%
Yeah.
part and parcel with
COVID.
yeah.
So, but I didn't have a fever this entire time. I never spiked above 99 this entire time. Okay.
What's your normal temperature though?
98.
Are you?
Yeah. I did not have a fever. So I felt really feverish though. It was weird. I could not like my shirt hurt.
Wait.
So-
Were you taking like aspirin and stuff the whole
No.
time?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
No, I didn't start doing that till the second day. And so first day, which was Wednesday night, I'm hot and cold all fucking night. I'm like, man, I definitely have this motherfucker, but I only have one test left. And so Wednesday morning, I'm like, all right, let me take or Thursday morning, I take the test, fucking A, positive. I'm like, okay, fine, I got it. Call my doctor. So she's like, well, not much that we can do, so, watch for this, and this. If it gets like this, call an ambulance because you're going to need it,
Yeah.
kind of thing. And she's like, but you've had your 2 shots. She's like, you'll be fine. It's just going to suck for a couple days. And she was totally right. So, because, look, man, like, everything that you can get with the flu, you get it twice as bad. Well, you have fucking had it. So,
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, no, man.
Yeah.
The only thing I didn't have was a fever, but I had like the confusion. I couldn't stand very easily. Couldn't watch TV. I still have tinnitus. I've had a headache that's been going on for about 8 days now, or 7 days now. It's not as bad as it was. Finally, Monday, I started feeling a little bit more human. It tamped down a little bit. But yeah, there was like I couldn't stay awake for more than about an hour and a half before I was completely gassed.
Yeah,
You know?
that was the biggest thing I remember was
Yeah.
I would sleep. I would wake up to, and I'm not talking about the stages, because I had to tell you one of the things that I ended up doing during COVID
Yeah.
was I ended up taking a lot of showers. And the whole reason was when I'd go to sleep, my temperature would change so drastically, or at least
really?
my body's perception of it.
See
right?
that? Yeah, that was what was going on with me. But I kept taking my temperature and it didn't really fucking change. So,
I didn't take it because,
Oh, okay.
look, I know when the shit's fucked up because I'm like, okay, I'm super cold. I'm
Yeah.
shivering in the middle. It's like, okay, shivering in the middle of summer. I know my temperature's fucked up. Okay. So I'm like, all right. So I do that. I go to sleep. I'd occasionally shower to warm up. Then I'd cool down. I would teach a class. This was the only time where
wow.
just these are hour long.
Yeah,
Like,
that's brutal.
but I was like, this is the only time I was like, it's 40 minutes. I can barely stay awake.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm like, oh, this is fucked up. And that's, so yeah, I had it, I did the thing where I took the first shot. I felt like shit for like 4 days.
Yeah.
And then I caught it.
Oh,
Then-
that's right. You caught it before you got your second shot.
Correct.
Yeah.
Then and you're supposed to, like, the rule was if you had it, it's supposed to be like another 14 days before you get
Right.
the second shot. They're like, have you had it? I'm like, I'm fine. Give me the shot. So
Yeah.
as soon as I got over that, it was like 7 days. I got the second shot. Felt like shit again.
Yeah.
Right?
I remember that. Yeah.
So it was like a month
Yeah.
battling like COVID-like symptoms. But I tell you, those 2 weeks in the middle, it was shitty.
Yeah.
Super shitty. But yeah, I went through it. You went through it now.
Yeah. No. And like I said, I'm pretty sure that I had it in the spring of 2020 because there was about 3-4 days here where I felt bad. and it felt almost exactly the same this time. It was just worse. So it was like you're gonna have it. You're gonna have it longer. I just like the very first day I was like, and then that thing that my daughter was saying about her eyes hurting, I didn't get that when she was saying it, but 2 days into having COVID, it hurt to move my eyes. They were like fucking sore. I've never had that sensation before, but sure as shit, I get online, look at some of the shit, and there's a lot of people who say, yeah, your eyes are sore. I was like, that makes no sense unless you experience it, man.
I didn't get that. I didn't get that. I had the headaches. Trust me, I had the headaches. And of course, because I'm a fucking lunatic and I don't believe in slowing down for this, that was one of the things where I would have days where what I did was I woke up, I did workouts,
Yeah.
and I'm like, no, I still have to do this while I'm sick, right? I'm like, I'm going to sweat it out. It's what I've always done.
Yeah.
So I did that. I got to tell you, my COVID runs were some of the most interesting I've ever had. I've never run less of a straight line.
Yeah, no. I mean, I had a hard time like navigating stairs. So
That would be my day, though.
yeah, let
that would
alone
be my
trying to
day.
actually run.
Well, look, that's my thing. Is I've had plenty of times where I was sick. I'm like, I got a nerve cyst and save my energy.
Sure.
It always seems to take 10 times as long if I don't actually tell my body to go nuts. Like, use as much energy as you can, right? I don't know the science behind it. I don't know if there is a science. I know that the first thing, like the doctors, everybody told me, it's like, no, you get back in bed. It's like, no.
Oh, yeah. No, see, I've always done that, or at least the last few years. I mean, because I used to be stupid about it too. I used to be that guy. It's like, it'll be okay. I'll go to work, but I'm not stupid about that anymore.
It's not a work thing. Okay, so number one, it's like, I wouldn't go to work with it, but I'd also be like, I cannot stay completely stationary. I still have to tell my body to move and do things. Now, of course, you and I both know that any physical activity you do during this kind of sickness comes back to you 10 times over. So
It does.
if you can normally do a whole bunch of squats when you're not sick, but you do them when you're sick, it'll make you sore about 100 times over.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah.
No, I used to be stupid. I used to, let's just take some Dayquil stuff and paper it over.
That.
Yeah, that's when I used to stay sick for like 5-6 days.
Yeah.
And so like I'd say probably ever since I had a kid. So yeah, it's been I'd say ever since I left that junk ass college where I used to get sick all the fucking time because nobody there could afford a doctor. I converted my strategy as like, I feel a cold coming on. All right, so let me get my tea now.
Yeah.
And then sleep for 19 hours and murder it, and that usually works pretty good.
And see if you can basically give it a chance to give your body a fighting chance ahead of it.
Fight it off.
Yeah.
That usually works. And so I tried doing that last Thursday, but I can't stay asleep with this shit. So I would zonk out for like 45 minutes. And then I'd wake up again, and then I'd be like, fuck, man. And then I'd flop around in bed, sweat it like crazy, to the point in time I was like, well, we're going to do sheets again today, kind of thing. Yeah. Or at least I'm going to go take a cold-ass shower to get this grease off me now. And then I'd be awake. And then an hour later, I'd be like, fuck, I can't stay awake. And I go, and I just rest my head on the couch, sleep for 45 minutes, fucking do it all over again. I haven't had a solid 8 hours of sleep in like fucking 6 days, man. So hopefully tonight.
Oh, there's that. Now, because this is the last thing I'll address. Have you driven since you've been back? Have you driven back behind my house? Okay.
Well, I guess I did on last Tuesday when I went to the bar. So...
Okay, so it wouldn't have been Tuesday. So, Will and I were hanging out last Wednesday when you called off.
Oh, okay.
Right. And so Will's about to go home. It's about 10:15.
All right.
Okay.
Is Will here earlier on Wednesday than I am? I thought you were teaching between.
Well, sometimes.
Oh, okay.
We hang out earlier on, and on Wednesday, what I did was I ended up just like canceling with that student. I was like, I meet with that family 4 times a week. So.
Oh, okay.
They cancel, I cancel. It's all right. But so Will's actually about to leave. It's about 10:15. We were hanging out earlier on, and the worst crunching sound you've ever heard in your life. Okay, so back behind there, you can take a look. It's dark out. You won't see it. Okay, there's big holes in the fence.
Oh, someone bashed through your fence?
Oh yeah.
Fuck.
And through a section of my backyard and knocked over some trees and
What?
oh yeah.
During podcasting hours.
Yes, but we weren't podcasting.
Right, yeah.
Unfortunately, and then William was about to go. And yeah, so they totally wrecked up that fence. It was a guy driving a company truck.
Ooh, was he drunk?
He didn't appear to be.
Oh.
I'd
be surprised, man. You make a mistake like that.
Yeah, here's the thing, is I can sniff alcohol on people.
Mm-hmm.
I was barely talking to him. The only thing I was doing was getting up to him to kind of smell, and I didn't smell anything.
Oh, okay.
Now, he didn't leave his truck there because the fucker tried to back it up and leave.
Before you got out and talked to him?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We were cussing at him not to leave, right? But yeah, he when his truck fucking exploded, basically smoke pouring, the fumes pouring out of the hood. That's when he said, "I'm not going anywhere." Right?
Because he can't. Yeah.
Yeah. You're trying.
You're trying, bro.
But yeah. So what is amazing is
Cops come?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Cops.
good. Yeah.
Oh well, because Patrick, the other thing that he did was he took out all of those cable and utilities boxes and all that other shit. Right?
Did your power go out?
Power didn't go.
Oh.
Cable was gone. Internet was completely gone.
Yeah. Man, that's the second time in less than a year someone's bashed that cable box.
Oh no, they got the other one. They got the other one.
They got the other one.
The other one's been fixed, but it looks like garbage. They smashed it all up over here.
Yeah.
And so they will be affecting repairs. This is not on me. This is all for them to pay for. I've talked to the insurance guy.
Oh, you're going to get a new fence.
Yes, Patrick. The only thing that would destroy that fence, because I have done so many repairs on it, is a truck.
It's a truck.
And more specifically, here's the ironic part, Patrick.
Was it a Baker truck?
It's not a Baker truck. That's where it's even funnier, right?
Yeah.
So I need landscaping services and fencing.
Okay.
The company truck that destroyed my fence and my trees was Monarch Fencing and Landscape.
Are they going to hook you up?
I thought about calling them.
Oh, I don't know.
I thought about calling them and saying, yeah, well, here's this is me,
Yeah.
And see, I don't know if that's in bad taste.
Well, if you find a good landscaper, let me know, because I need one. So.
Well, I'm going to see if I can, since, here's the thing. It is not a homeowner's claim.
Right.
Because it's a driver.
Yeah.
Right? So at this point, it's just, okay, get a guy out there to take a quote, have him do the job, we'll pay him.
Yeah.
Right? So hopefully, I'm just going to be like, can you guys grab some of these, while you're at it?
Oh, yeah.
I think they'll be okay.
Yeah, they'll be okay.
Yeah. But the problem here is every minute that I am without my back fence, my dog's home away from home has been compromised.
Yeah, because she can get over that little fence, right?
But she doesn't.
Oh, okay.
She doesn't. But, and I found out how she wasn't getting over it.
Yeah.
Okay. What she would do is she would go to the place where the door was and just kind of wiggle her body through.
Oh, okay.
Cat style until she was out.
Cat style.
Now, also, the issue here is if she did, I wouldn't care.
Yeah.
Because I'd just find her on my front porch when she was done.
Yeah.
But still, there's a responsibility. At night, I don't care. But during the day, I'm like, you're smart enough to dodge traffic, but I don't give you 100%.
Yeah, I don't think traffic's smart enough to dodge you. So
yeah. And if it's in here, I don't care. But if it's carefree, I'm like, fuck it.
Yeah, that's a little dangerous. So.
But yeah, so that happened in your absence.
Oh.
What would have happened had this happened at regular time? Our recording would have been interrupted.
Interrupted.
With the most horrible sounding cracking I've ever heard. And that's what it sounds like when somebody wrecks 2 houses worth of fence.
Oh, it was both houses.
Oh, yeah. 'Cause
Wow.
they jumped in there. They avoided the tree,
Huh?
which, you know, this is the thing.
Definitely would have wrecked that truck.
Well,
So-
that's when the emergency guys were there, and I was just making my point clear. It's like, oh, he missed this big tree. It's like, that would have messed it up. Like, would have kept him out of my yard. Yeah, but it might have. It's like, that's not my problem.
Not my problem. Yeah.
I'd have much preferred you hit this shitty tree.
Yeah, not my problem.
So, yeah.
All right.
So, yeah, you missed that.
I did miss that. I don't know. I'm sure there's like other things. Like I was just today starting to catch up on news and shit.
What did you miss?
Not much, man. So not much at all. Like I mean, you kind of take a 2-week absence because you don't get internet on the ship. So
Well, you can pay for it.
you can pay for it, but fuck, it's expensive. So
You don't get much of it either.
no. I mean, I got like basic internet, but I couldn't even download my news app, man. So I mean, I could text like people and shit, and that was about it. Like I would not plan, like if I do this again in the future, there will be no work to be done because there's no way I could get like fucking Blackboard to download on that motherfucker, you know, or anything like that. I was kind of surprised how bad it was, but then I thought about it. I was like, oh wait, yeah, it is a satellite. So and then you get to NASA and there's like all this, oh, connect to our Wi-Fi. It's like, how much you funding my cryptos?
Shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, when I was, this is what I got to tell you is, so way back when I worked for, you know, the phone company, right? I was going to reveal my past, but that was one of the things that would happen a lot is people would connect to,
Oh, no.
and what they would come back to because they're like, well, I was using the ship's internet. I'm like, okay. They're like, I owe $720.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
can't do anything about it. It's like,
Yeah.
that's not,
Yeah.
that's the charge they sent to us.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So, like, I get you.
Yeah.
Okay? I get you. Totally understand.
Yeah.
Right? But you have to call those fuckers.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I tried uploading one photo while we were still in range of the port. And it took, but then I immediately got a notice from T-Mobile that was like, it's like $15 per megabyte. And I was like, what? It was like, how big was that fucking picture?
Yeah, actually, evidently, that is a lot of where the actual Starlink market is going to come.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because, you know, the whole problem with this is, yeah, they're doing it from a satellite, one, and it's
Right.
a shitty one,
Right.
right? So, you know, they charge a premium, but that's where a lot of they put up this,
Yeah.
buy the thing, you actually get decent. Now, granted, I'm going to say this for a boat full of, how many people were on it?
Oh, like 3,000?
Okay, so yeah, you're going to need more than one satellite dish. And so,
Yeah.
you know, this is something that's going to work out. But yeah, a lot of people are using that right now where they're just putting it on their speedboat. They're just putting it on their recreational boat.
See, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It was kind of nice to just unplug. So.
Oh, I'm not going to fight with you there, but if
No.
you went there and, you know, you were stereotypical 80s guy where you're like, this is a working vacation. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm on a cruise ship, but you know, Johnson needs these files or whatever.
Oh,
Right?
no, I wouldn't do that. In fact, when we went ashore, I didn't even bring my phone with me. So.
Good for you.
Yeah, it was kind of weird.
I mean, the only thing I would
So-
say is, did you want to take any pictures?
No, my wife had that covered.
But I
So.
never take pictures anyway.
Hmm.
I take pictures
I'll take
if
pictures.
something is funny. I take pictures if like, oh, Pat's gonna want to see this. Like when I took pictures of that like coffee cup that was like Snoopy's guns or whatever.
Oh, right.
Or just like dumb things like that. But there's never a version of this where, oh, well, here's my kid sitting in front of.
No, my wife's big on that,
Yeah.
so I figured she had it covered. Yeah, I didn't even bring my phone on
Good for
shore. But then there was like, you know, like other times where, like even just the last couple of days, been trying to catch up with like certain things. It's just like not that fucking much happened. So over the last, at least not that I can discern. There's still like bullshit going on in Ukraine. You know, Joe Biden's trying to rewrite the definition of what a recession is.
Yeah.
Which nobody's going to bugger for that. Apparently gas prices are down, and they are down from where I was when I left.
Down is such a relative.
It is relative, but
term.
they are down. Crypto's flat, like it was before I left.
It has been making significantly more positive strides.
Has it? I checked it today, and it looked pretty flat. So
What is your definition of flat, man? Because
it hasn't moved more than 5% up or down. So
it depends on what you're looking at.
oh, I'm just looking at Bitcoin. So
Well, but here's the thing: is like, say for example, I'm always looking at these in terms of usually weeks. Okay.
oh yeah,
So compared to the past 7 days, coin is up 1.2%. Past 7 days, Ethereum is up 10.2%.
I don't have any more Ether anymore, man. So
I do.
Yeah,
so
you do.
I'm happy there. What I didn't get back into, and I moved out of, is
Cardano. Please tell me you don't have any of that.
no,
shit.
no,
That thing's
no.
a fucking dumpster fire, man.
But Classic is up 43.5%.
Oh,
right.
okay.
So there's movement in there,
Yeah.
and now keep in mind it's because a lot of the other coins, like how much did you lose versus
Right,
what's it
yeah.
taking to get back to normal.
Yeah.
But if you've had just a wee bit of, now I've been hedging, of course, coin is my hedge, but I've had a little bit of guts to move things out and say, like, all right, move here, move back. And so I've done okay with
Yeah.
riding some of these upper waves, and it is trending upward because, again, if the value is like right now 23.2, okay, that is way
is up a little
from
bit, yeah.
like 19,000 and 18, that we were like a month ago.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm still looking like back fucking what is it, November? We were at 70. We got a
Yes,
ways to go.
Of course,
man.
look,
We got a ways to go.
don't get me wrong, yeah, but in terms of the emergency days where I'm like, oh my God, it's the Great Depression. I'm gonna have to sell pencils on the street,
Right, yeah.
So
So
I'm ruined.
ruined.
I'm considerably happier with the movement that it's been taking.
I think it'll be flat for quite a while, man. So I mean, like, still, if you look at it historically, so I've been in coin since 16. So we went through 3 years there where it didn't really move. All right, and then it went bananas. All right, in 2020, and then 2021, last fall, we hit our peak. And I was getting a little nervous about October. I should have listened to my instincts on that one. But like now, that's like, so I plowed air. I got out of Cardano. That was the one that I got nervous on first, and I got out of that just right. So I should have listened to my instincts on that one a little bit. But I'm very cool with like just letting it ride for 2-3 years now. So
Yeah.
I'm very cool with that. I feel like it's going to be in a good place. I think it's going to come out a little bit stronger. I am a little bit worried about Coinbase though. So
Yeah, I will say this, but if Coinbase falls, look, my argument here is cool. Somebody else will take your place.
yeah, but I'll lose my coin, man. So, or at least a good chunk. I don't know. I haven't looked at cold storage yet. I might think about that.
You can do that, but I don't. I think if that writing's on the wall, I'll be in fucking Binance or somebody else. At some other point.
Yeah.
Shit, I may put it over into PayPal. I don't know,
Or Robinhood or something.
because they're not going anywhere.
Yeah, PayPal's not good. That's right. You can't do it in PayPal now, can't
Wow.
you? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
So
hadn't thought
I
about that.
have emergency hatches. I just, I don't. If it happens, it happens. There's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah,
but,
I'm kind of in the same boat. Yeah,
but
on that
frankly, if I see, I have enough like warning flags up to the point where if some of the groups that I hang out in, where if it is like, guys, this is a
Yeah, so if you start getting like itchy on it, you
I'll
need to
tell
let
you.
me know.
I'll
Yeah,
tell you.
okay.
Yeah.
I trust your instincts on that one.
No, I'll go out. I'll go up front, and I'll actually change the defense condition from 5 to 4.
So on your coin flag, yeah. So yeah. No, so I don't know. I'm a little bit worried about that, but other than that, it hasn't really moved that much. Elon Musk did not buy Tesla, or Twitter yet.
No, there's.
So there's shenanigans going on.
Yeah,
there.
there's 100% shenanigans
Yeah.
going on. But
Oh.
it's interesting where the news only seems big. Okay, so you've had the hindsight of being able to like leave it.
Yeah.
So it only seems big if you're watching it minute by minute. If
That's
you
true.
if you
Yeah.
leave and come back and you watch the string of nothing burgers day by day,
Yeah.
you come back and you're like, okay, so is the Second Amendment still a thing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Twitter still in the hands of fucking idiots? Yes.
Yep.
Is Roe versus Wade still a non-issue because the state that you live in actually makes that determination, and if you don't like it, it's not more than like a 60-minute drive across
Right.
any border to any.
Yeah. Yeah. That turned out to be no big deal.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of people that just say it is.
But it's not, you know.
it's not.
I mean, you know,
In
on a very
practicality.
basic level, it's not like here in Colorado, we actually have a state amendment.
Yeah,
to the
it's
Constitution,
a shield. It's like, okay,
if
yeah.
I'm not mistaken. I
We
think that's actually in the
absolutely do.
Constitution.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's in the Constitution or if that's a law, but it is.
But either way, it's,
Yeah. It's in there. And then, like, yeah, there was like, it's just, I mean, I remember the night before I got COVID, just talking to some of the guys at the bar. It was like, man, I didn't fucking miss shit in a week, let alone 2 now, you know? And it's just like, okay, so everything's just still kind of plodding along. You know, Joe Biden's apparently got COVID now. So
Yeah, he
he's gonna,
does.
and I mean, that's the funny thing about that. If that motherfucker survives it, everybody can survive it now.
that's sort of the funny issue when
Yeah.
it comes down to it.
So-
Is the most frail human being
Yeah.
in any kind of observational situation.
Wow,
is-
yeah. I mean, the guy's still, I don't know. He's still got motor skills and stuff, but, you know, like,
No, but in terms of when you said, when this came out, okay, and even over the course of the past few years, right? If you're to put a bounty hunter-esque attitude, if COVID is personified, they would look at Joe Biden's age and demographic and say,
oh, yeah, you're going to die.
those are our easy marks.
Yeah.
Get him, right?
Well, it didn't even kill my mom. So, you know, and I mean, yeah.
Well, that's true.
So,
yeah,
yeah.
That's,
I mean, it was one of those things. She's a little bit further down the line than he is. So, you know. But it was just one of those things where, like, I saw a couple articles on that, and I was like, "Oh man, if he's gonna live through it, and that you know, it's just gonna be one of those things." So this is obviously a nothing thing, you know. I mean, after going through it myself, it's like, yeah, it fucking sucks. All right,
but a lot of things suck.
a lot of things suck, you know. But I mean, it's not something that we need to get all worked up about. You know. And I've seen a couple things about people freaking out over monkeypox. It's like, shut the fuck up. All right, so, you know, I mean, if you get that, at least you're going to stay home now.
Yeah, you're absolutely going to.
You're
And,
absolutely going to stay home, you know?
and you can't really talk about it, but the fact is, like, monkeypox is sort of relegated to certain demographics.
Kind of, but, like, Marjorie Taylor Greene actually had a really good point about that yesterday. She said, how the fuck are kids getting it then? But, you know, because kids aren't sitting there playing fucking, you know, sword fighting. You know?
No,
I mean,
but-
it's the stalls in 8th grade, man.
But what I'm telling you is, we are so far away from that demographic
Oh, sure, yeah.
that it's not even in our orbit.
Right, yeah.
Because
So-
you and I, first off, it's like, well, we don't revel in human contact on a good day, right?
No.
So, let alone we're talking about, I don't know, aggressive contact with, you know, strangers. So like that's we're so far away from the
Yeah.
target group where it's like,
Well, I'm just making a point that I think that target group demographic that people are saying that it's
Yes,
relegated
I
to
know.
gay guys who engage in rough sex is probably not true.
no, but
I find that to be suspect. So and I will not give MTG or whatever her fucking name is too much credit on some things, but she actually had a good tweet the other day.
no. All I'm telling you is if it's within that group, and this is a group that is
Right.
actually, look, I'm not going to break down the demographics of you, and it's not like this is an insult anyway.
Sure.
But the fact of the matter is, the average gay person has way more sexual partners than any straight person.
Yeah.
On average.
Yeah.
Okay. And more frequently, right?
Yeah.
And so if there is anything like this, and it is spread basically through skin-on-skin contact,
They're more likely to get it.
they're more likely to get it. That
yeah.
is not to me to say like, oh, well,
Okay, I get your point.
monkeypox has a gay bias.
Right, yeah.
This is,
No. That I was making sure you weren't going to that direction.
absolutely not.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
There's a reason they changed the name of, from grids to AIDS because they're
Right.
Oh,
yeah.
right. It's
like-
just, okay,
yeah.
got it.
Yeah.
Got it. It's just that this group do this,
Right.
which tends to make it easier to spread.
Yeah.
It is not just because you're gay, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That being said, there are a lot of gay people in Florida. I did notice that.
It's funny because they're like
There are a lot of gay people in Florida.
there are.
There are.
There
Yeah.
are.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was kind of fun. So, but anyway. So, yeah, like that came up, the monkeypox, and then, like, just like news in general just kind of like slid off the calendar a little bit because it was like, actually, a lot of the shit we bitched about is irrelevant. That being said, I did want to end on a note today.
Please.
Because we're at $1.35,
Yeah,
so we're a
that's
little
what I
bit
thought.
OT.
Yeah.
All right, but I was kind of curious. I was thinking about this driving over here today. So, like, what is going on Twitter, and who did you fight over the last 2 weeks?
Me?
Yeah, so I know you got in a fight with somebody. You had to. So, because you play the PvP server. So,
Okay, so I got in 2 fights.
okay.
One was with the Chinese, but I've had that.
That's great. So, like, you took on the Wu Mao army. So,
It wasn't even that much of a fight, man. It was like, I'm gonna dump this on you and leave. They're like, you're stupid. Oh right, yeah, because the whole thing started because they were talking about like the second piece of the Chinese space station module going up into space, and I'm like, I'm gonna be inflammatory. I'm like, it's like, given the number of people that die on Chinese escalators a day.
yeah.
I'm like, this space station is a death sentence. So that started a little fight, and the other person, again, this is stupid.
How many people die on Chinese escalators? That's pretty good.
And then the second fight I started was I can't remember which dumbass Twitter news network was throwing this out there. They were like the life and times of Rihanna and how she went from this to this. And I just went in there with an inflammatory statement. I was like, people with bad taste keep buying bad albums to justify their previous bad taste. Woman capitalizes 24 words. And they, of course, like, when you insult somebody's pop star du jour, right?
Yeah.
They take that as a personal insult. And so I was like, all right, well, let's take a deeper look. All right. The second tweet was like, Rihanna song, Diamonds. Number of words. It's like, reached #1 hip-hop charts, reached #1, like, some other chart. It was like, total number of words, 387. Using words, shine bright like diamond. I left out the word A. Okay? It's like, percentage of song that is these 4 words, 33%. Said, because after I got some blowback, I was like, yes, this is music for the clinically retarded. Now, that started a little bit of a fight.
Yeah,
because
I bet.
I was,
Yeah.
It's like, well, who are you? It's like, well, I'm defining it right here. This is simplistic and dumb. Are you simplistic and dumb? But yeah, those are my fights that I got into.
Yeah.
What are you saying that you expected me? It sounds like you thought I would be in a certain fight.
Oh no, it's just had been 2 weeks, and usually, so since we podcast twice a week, so the fights kind of leak out, and so I didn't know if you had saved up any really good ones. I like the Chinese escalator one though. That's
that's my I was like, anytime I can, because you can find the shill accounts that they talked about. It's like,
Right.
now that I've seen them in the wild, I'm like,
They're everywhere.
You're hilarious.
They're fucking everywhere.
And
So-
if you just, I remember the COVID ones that I had, right?
Yeah.
Those were so funny. Those I got in a fight over fucking Chinese water.
right?
Right? And you know, when I broke down the percentage, I'm like, it was something like 56% of your water isn't safe for industrial use.
Yeah, let alone drinking. So, it'll melt your machines.
That's what it said. Like, you can't even use this to cool hot machines.
Right, yeah.
And it's like, well, have you been here? I'm like, no, and I'm not going.
I'm not coming, thank you. So, you're welcome over to America
I was
anytime,
like,
brother.
what the fuck are you talking about? I can drink Drano at home.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, that's what across an
You
ocean
go
for
to
this.
China
What, you
to drink
stupid?
Drano, yeah. So, yeah. No, it was kind of interesting, man. So, like, the international milieu that was actually mixed together on the cruise line was kind of interesting. I mean, it was like the passengers were like at least 80% American. Okay?
Right.
So, but there were a few here and there. It was kind of interesting talking to them at dinner and stuff like that. And then the same thing talking to the entire crew. And I got to tell you, it's not hard to find people who are not a fan of the Chinese. So if they come from that part of the world, you know, so it is not hard at all.
Which
So,
part?
huh?
Which part?
So anything that kind of runs the gamut around China. So considering
Right.
that a large portion of the crew was both Filipino, Thai, or Indonesian, or Vietnamese, or Indian. So-
Any Australians?
no, all the white people were the officers, and I didn't get to talk to them. so and the one that did come by and say something at our table was exceptionally German. So,
Okay.
so it was kind of interesting. Yeah. And then it's just the actual passengers themselves. I mean, oh my God, man. So it was the part of the country that this was drawing from was definitely not Minnesota. So, but we had a good time regardless. So, you know. So now I don't know about the Disney crew. That thing disgorged about 3,000 white fat people in about 30 minutes of docking. But you know, our cruise, it was actually pretty diverse. It was pretty fucking cool. So,
Boy, that thing really says something about Disney, doesn't it? Like, when it comes down to it, it's like, we cater to this, but this is our audience.
yeah, it totally is, man.
Yeah.
So, it totally is. Just sitting dock next to that shit and looking at all the people on their balconies, as opposed to our ship. You know? It was kind of like, all right, you guys got your niche figured out. I got it, man. No
Yeah.
wonder that motherfucker cost 3 times much.
And like, it's like, you guys say this, but I know you guys have done like cost analysis.
You've done the cost analysis.
and you're
Yeah.
like, these are our bread and butter.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, yeah, we're over.
All right,
so
we're over.
we'll
42.
we just haven't seen each other in a while.
No,
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll make it up on Friday. So I got topics for Friday already, including how bad I am at RTSs now. So
You think I'm any better?
I'm fucking terrible, Jeff. I can't even get past the second goddamn mission. So
You know, the funny thing is, I've lost plenty of times. I will talk to you about this.
all right,
But at the same time, I'm still having fun.
I'm kind of at the cusp, so we'll save that for the next one. So,
I'll talk to you about that. All right.
all right, man.
All right.
I'm Pat.
I'm Jeffrey.
Hitting the button.
Okay.